Hello traders and welcome to my trade recap for Monday, December 30th, 2024. I'm trading the micro NASDAQ futures on a 1000 tick chart. This is the pre-market, so a large, strong sell-off leading up to this vertical blue line, which is when the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ Stock Exchange open at 9:30 Eastern Time. And that's generally the best time to start trading futures if you're going to day trade them. And at the open, price goes sideways, so I'm waiting, not trading in a range, waiting for a breakout, which happens here, and I get in at not a very good place. In price action, you're probably generally supposed to wait for a breakout pullback. You're not just supposed to buy breakouts. That's not a profitable strategy. It's hard to manage your risk, and your win rate is not very good. So not off to a great start today. I get stopped a couple of candles later, a couple of bars later here, and the bar I get stopped in actually turns into a really nice one bar reversal, and so I get right back in, and price goes down, back down to the low of the day, and I'm now 2 contracts short here, and I take my first contract off at the low of the day, and then when I go to take off my second contract, I'm short 1 contract, and how do you close a short trade? Answer, you buy back your shares, or you buy to cover. So I've covered one here, and I go to buy 1 more share to cover my trade and get flat, and instead I buy 2 shares. So I go from 1 share short to 1 share long. And this blue bar is like 45 seconds long or something. And in that time frame, I flip back and forth between 1 contract long and 1 contract short a few times as I'm trying to get the heck out and figure out what's wrong with flattening my trade. And I figure it out, and I get flat, and I haven't lost a ton of money, and it's okay. But it's really stressful, and it's really frustrating, and something that I need to work on with my trading is not getting so frustrated when things like this happen. This is a simple execution error that snowballs a bit, but in the end, it's not the biggest deal. However, I should have just taken a moment and to collect my thoughts and then continue to trade. I did not. I jumped straight back in and got short here 2 contracts, added to that trade as it worked out in my favor, held through 2 little pullbacks here, and then got flat as this trade was not working out. So made some money on the first trade and was more or less break even on the second trade. Price pulls back at this point. So you can look at this as one big range, or you can look at this as 2 ranges here, this being the first and this being the second. And the price was in a range, broke out into a second range, and now has reversed back into the first. And this is similar to some of the price action that we saw on the last trading day, which was Friday, the 27th of December. So price is going sideways, and then a couple of strong pushes down to the low of the day and the low of this lower range. And I think that here we've got a double bounce. Bounce 1, bounce 2, and I get long with a stop just below this low, and I get stopped pretty much right away on the same candle as price breaks out again, and I get short on a breakout, not waiting for a pullback. So this is not good trading, okay? And this trade here works out. I take some profit off there, and the next contract I take off at about the same spot. This is, I think, actually, I'm short 4 contracts here. Yeah, I think I'm short there, and there's an add here, 2 more contracts short. So 1 take profit, 2, 3 take profit. I think 3 and 4 were here. And at this point, I'm kind of starting to revenge trade and trade out of frustration a bit. So inside, this is more or less a range. This is not a trend. This is a range. You can look at this as either a trend like that or a trend with a trend line break and a pullback and a trend like that. Either way, this is sideways, and I'm trading inside of here. And this ends up kind of summarizing my day. So there are 6 trades in here, and altogether I don't make or lose any money, but I do pay some commissions, and that's not insubstantial, as you're going to see. And then this is my worst trade of the day. I'm frustrated. The price is not directional. It's also not really ranging in a predictable manner. It's not bouncing between 2 levels. So if you zoom out a bit, you can kind of see that this is more or less like a stairs type trend. So a big step down, a smaller step up, a big step down, a smaller step up. And that continues, that structure continues here for a bit. But this set of trades is horrible, unacceptable. You cannot make money as a trader if you trade like this. I was short, I added to the short, which is fine, except you need to still manage your risk. You can't have a wide stop if you put on a bunch of size, which is exactly what I did here. So I get stopped out, and I'm obviously, this is very illustrative. I'm obviously the weak player here. Look at my exits on these short trades. I'm stopping out of these short trades. They're into perfect highs, which means I'm the sucker, along with a bunch of other suckers that the strong traders are absolutely wrecking here, okay? Lesson learned. You still have to manage your risk, and don't be vengeful. So this next trade is, I don't know if it's skill or luck, but it ends up being a great swing trade. I get short, I wait a couple bars, it looks like we're strength to the downside, little pullback, strength to the downside, I get short, I add to the trade, and then I wait and I swing it. I take off my first contract here, wait very well through a pullback, take off a couple more contracts, and I think that's the last one there. And that ends up being a really nice, profitable trade. I think it makes more money than I lost on this little mistake here. And then price kind of goes sideways. Same thing. We're not trending cleanly. We're kind of getting this stairs pattern, continuation of this stairs pattern. Big step down, small step up. But here we kind of get a change in character where we do have a low here. Let me mark that with an arrow. We have a low here, this, and then we have a low here, and then we have a higher low here, and we have continuing higher lows. So this suggests a possible change in direction. So a possible trend reversal. Even though it's a messy trend, it's pretty hard to zoom out and say that this is a trend structure. This is more or less a stairs weak downtrend, and then a potential reversal. And so I start trading inside this range, which is also not recommended. All right, you can tell I'm a mess here today. But I make money inside. There's 7 trades in here, and I make 25 points profit, which is pretty good. And you can see, if you just draw some rough lines outlining this price structure, you can see that I'm buying in the bottom half and I'm selling in the upper half, which is what you have to do if you're going to trade in a range. So I'm making money. I wouldn't say that I'm trading well. But at this point, I kind of start to understand the daily rhythm and the structure, and I start to adjust my trading to it, and this is where things turn for the better, which is good. So price does look like it kind of reverses here, and it does a couple of legs up, back towards the range, the original range up here. And then as price rejects off the range and we get a lower high, this would have been a great place to trade in here somewhere, which I don't, but you get this pullback, flag. Let me try that again. You get this flag here, kind of a triangle flag, and I take a couple of trades here and they work out quite nicely. And then markets go back to more or less moving inside of a range. So there's actually 5 trades here, and I make 100 points, which is massive amount of profit. And this is really high quality range trading, mean reversion type trading. It's better for a guy like me to wait for a trend. If you're not patient, then make sure that you're going to trade a range profitably at least. So you can take a look at these executions. I'm not going to go through every one. This one's short. This one is short here, starting there. This one is long here, starting there, short and long. And what does price do? It rallies back into the range, and I get a couple of good trend trades here. So the trends today are short and quick, and you have to be aggressive and decisive to get into them, and you have to be relatively quick to get out of them. Here's a good long trade. Here's a good long trade. This is a very close to break-even trade, a small profit, and price reverses again and heads back down. can't make up its mind. This is more or less a break-even trade, and I start trading inside, getting aggressive and trading inside of a range again. And I make basically no money with this series of trades. I just pay a lot of commissions. And there's one more trade here, a little upside scalp, and then I come back in an hour or two and I make a couple of trades here. This is a short, cover, and this is a long and an exit there. So those are both good trades as well. So that was my day. Not a good day, not proud. I am not proud of my trading today. I made money. Let's take a look at my executions here. I made 43 trades today. I printed 202 tickets, 210 tickets, pardon me. So 43 trades, 25 winners, which is a 58% win rate. I made 212 points, but I paid 46% of my gross profit to commissions. So whereas I could have made, let's say, 21% on my account if I hadn't paid any commissions, not realistic. Instead, I gave half of that away and basically made 11%. So lessons here about taking a moment, recollecting your thoughts, not trading inside of a range, not over trading, not losing your temper. Waiting if you have to off the open to understand the structure, what's happening with today's structure. And if I just clear off all of these drawing tools here, what is happening with today's structure? The open's around here somewhere. The structure is, it is a stairs pattern. It's just these short trends with lots of reversals and range-bound price action in between. Really difficult environment, especially if you're impatient. So lots of lessons today, and I'm going to come back tomorrow, and I'm hoping it's going to be a lot better.